With an expensive war in the Central African Republic, a return of deadly political games in South Sudan, a stalemate in Syria, increasing militancy in Nigeria, and with the global economy still in a jigsaw puzzling state with severe signs of recovery in the West, beefed by transatlantic and trans-Pacific trade deals. 2014 promises to be a year of increased political thoughts, fixed within a context of an improving global economy with emerging markets still in a weak, less dynamic demand and supply. Welcome to Globe Watch, the first edition for 2014. I'm Charles Ebune. We are 7 billion people, according to the United Nations Agency, the World Population Fund, and latest figures from the United Nations Children Emergency Fund, UNICEF, conclude between 143 and 210 million children worldwide are orphans. Syria alone last year produced thousands of them. And another statistics indicates that 10 to 15% of such children commit suicide before the age of 18. One independent study states that 60% of the girls become prostitutes and about 70% of the boys become hardened criminals. And according to charity agency Orphans Hope International, some 5,560 children become orphans daily. And across life spectrum, several organizations have a fixed and specialized agenda to take care of problems related to orphans' children across the world. Amongst them, the newest, CarltonSmile charity, born in South Africa and created last March by a 21-year-old Cameroonian. He says, so many institutions have been out of the track, especially the established ones. So, which is the missing smile which CarltonSmile charity intends to provide to orphaned children across the globe? The founding president and chief executive officer plus director general of CarltonSmile charity, Jesse Carlton, welcome to Globe Watch.
Thank you.
You are my first guest of the year.
That is a pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here today.
I wonder how a 21-year-old handsome and intelligent young man having an MBA in business administration with an SHEEN future from a well-to-do family with both parents still alive suddenly developed tears for orphan children across the world.
It's not, I wouldn't say it was tears. I would say it was born out of a smile. Because I was fortunate enough to be blessed by both parents that are alive and by all the elders that surrounded me. So I had that call, if I can put it that way, and I felt that need to transmit a bit of that blessing to the orphans. It's just sad that most of the charity organizations that are born nowadays are born from tears. That is, you go through something and you create an organization, which is an incredible thing because you don't want other people to go through the same thing you went through. But that is the problem, is that we want to get to it. We want it to get to us before we get to it. And that is exactly what I want to avoid. That is exactly what I want to change. And that is how Smile Charity was born.
Many have had such circumstances in their lives and thought like you to put this kind of an association. What were the circumstances under which CarltonSmile charity was born? What inspired you first?
Inspired me, it was an American actor and author called Steve Harvey, and he said, "We are blessed to be a blessing." And that statement spoke to me in every way. So that was the phrase that sort of like pushed me into the whole charity drive. And CarltonSmile charity was born in 2013, but I had been involved in charity since 2012. I went to an orphanage and I offered them lunch for Easter. Then I did the same for my birthday. I took most of them. It was the first time they were going to McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's is something that we take for granted, but to them it's something extraordinary. So that was my second charity event. And after that, I used to collect clothes and give away and things like that. Then I realized that everyone around me wants to get involved, especially the youth. They also have the same need I have, but the thing is, they just don't know how to go about it. So I created Smile Charity to bridge the gap between the needy and the generous.
You were in South Africa when the association was created.
Yes, I
Who
was.
were you by then?
I was studying. I was studying my master's in business management, and I was sort of a medium entrepreneur, if I can put it that way. I was looking for something to do. I always had that drive in me ever since I was in first year. I always wanted to apply the marketing strategies I learned from school. So every time I get the opportunity to do a little business or something, I would do it. So by the time I created Smile Charity, I was hosting this event called Thank God It's Friday. It was a college party. So it used to be, I used to study in a little city called Midrand, and not a lot of things happen in Midrand. So it was sort of like an entertainment spot every Friday during the month of April. So that is what was my main occupation by then, studies, and I was hosting parties.
Before asking you the question of how you mingled studies with charity work, just tell me, you said you were inspired by an American actor.
And author, yeah.
Or an author.
Yeah.
Was that sufficient enough to land you in that business?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Change life is just one thing that changes you. There was this American motivational speaker, inspirational speaker called Tony Robbins, and he says you just need one change in your life. Even with golf, for example, when you hit the ball and you go off track, it's just because your angle that you hit the ball, it was centimeters away. And he said it's the same thing even with plastic surgery, is that your face is usually adjusted by a few centimeters, and you become a different person. And in life, that is how it happens. It's one word, one smile, one article you read, one book you read, one movie you watch, one interview you come to, that just changes your whole life. And that phrase is what changed my whole life and motivated me to become who I am.
How do you manage studying and running an association at the same time?
I organized myself. I have to admit that I had not a lot of free time, but I mainly had classes on Saturdays. I had a lot of work to do during the week, but I mainly had classes on Saturdays. So that was the only day where I was restrained to be in class. But during the week, I organized myself, and it demanded a lot of sacrifices. I mean, I'm 21 years old, but I started waking up at 5 a.m. That means I wouldn't go out the previous day. I would pass on a lot of opportunities to go out with my friends because I was devoted. I had a vision for this organization, and I still have an incredible vision for it, which gets bigger every day. So I had to be organized, and I had to be very, very disciplined. There was no one who had to wake me up or tell me you didn't do this. I was my own boss, and I had to be accountable.
You say you are focusing so much on making the children smile across the world, because orphans are not only in Africa. You heard me giving a very bleak situation of orphans across the world. Yeah. About 210 million of them exist out of the 7 billion people who are in the world. Now tell me, what makes you feel that so many institutions, organizations, governmental, intergovernmental, continental, which have been created to handle the problem of orphans around the world, are probably on the wrong track?
I think it's because we want to imitate, if I can put it that way. Because every time I speak about charity, people think about sponsors. That is the immediate thing. When I give an idea to a friend, the first question they ask is, how are we going to get the sponsors? That is because that is what they see on TV. And I was just fortunate enough to get into the charity domain through another door. It was something very simple.
Which is that door?
Which was the launch I hosted on Easter. Mm-hmm. I took up for 100,000 friends. That was 100,000 friends from my pocket money. Mm-hmm. And I went to an orphanage.
I have questions for you on finances very soon, so go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to host the lunch. So I did it that way. It was about sacrificing. I mean, the rest of the month I was broke. I was broke, but I did, at least I was broke for a good reason, if I can put it that way. Because the previous years I used to be broke, but it would be spending money on going out and buying stuff and things that were not really as productive.
Broke is an expression in Africa to say that you have very limited financial resources.
Exactly. So the rest of the month I had limited financial resources, but then it was a worthy cause. That's why I did it again for my birthday. And I realized that helping is just something so simple. You don't have to go through sponsors and a whole lot of administrative bottle procedures to help someone. And that is the ideology I want to sell to everyone. That is how I want to inspire people.
You attach your focus on smiling. What is the value you attach to smile? Just how valuable is a smile to the life of an orphan?
Yeah, I believe a smile is the beginning. It's a new beginning, if I can put it that way. Mother Teresa says, peace starts with a smile. The smile is the beginning of something. No matter what the kid has been through in the past, no matter what life has brought to him in the good or in the bad way, the moment he's able to smile, it is the hope. Hope is born. From that period, he can be able to dream, and he can be able to dream and work towards a better future. And the moment he smiles to us, we have marked a new beginning. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something great for the kid.
Since you started in 2013, how many children have you given a smile across the world?
Close to 500 orphans in Africa. We are essentially focused in Africa.
Countries? We
are now present in Cameroon, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria, and Gabon.
And how do you contact those children?
How do I contact? I'm not in contact with the children. In each of the countries, there are smiles.
That's a question that calls into mind how you are organized.
Yeah, I understand. I am in contact with Smile Charity presidents in each of the countries. So I basically, like I said, inspire those presidents to be able to understand how simple it is to go about it. And how we expand is basically simple. You contact me, whatever country you are, because in 2014 we'll be expanding to Kenya and Congo. When you contact me saying you are interested in expanding Smile Charity, I'll simply tell you to go to an orphanage and ask them what they need.
How does that person contact you? Unfortunately, I cannot be a member of your association because as a journalist, I'm not supposed to be in any of the associations. If not, I will be partisan.
Yeah, but of course, you can carry on loving and you can carry on sharing with whoever it is you want to. But essentially, it's been through Facebook because Facebook has been the main platform, Facebook and Twitter, the social network. The digital platform has been the main strength, as good strength for the organization. So when they see the pictures, they get inspired and then they send us a message and we reply. And based on that, we build a relationship. And I simply take them through the process. When it always looks very, very, very big and very complicated from the outside. But the moment I break it down...
Most people will tell you that a Facebook affair is a dream world.
Most people, but who are those people? I guess they don't know what they are talking about. Most people think charity it's something foreign. It's something that is expensive. It's something that you can only do when you're rich.
Because you know of people who have had marital affairs through Facebook, eBay, Badu and others, and they end up with very fake husbands and wives. So most people think that when they connect to you through the internet or using Facebook, it's like a child's play. It's not serious. How do you respond to them?
No, I don't respond to them. I mean, I respect each and everybody's opinion.
What creates your credibility through Facebook?
My credibility is not created through Facebook. Facebook is a platform to inspire people. Certain people go to Facebook for other purposes. I mean, we all get into a restaurant for a purpose. Certain people come to eat. Certain people might come to meet someone else. I registered for the gym because I like to keep myself fit. And I went to the gym, and on the form, when you fill the form, they would ask you, are you coming here to meet people, or are you coming here for sports? Are you coming for bodybuilding? Everybody has a purpose. I just have a different purpose. You would see me on Facebook or my phone sometimes. You would think I'm just chatting or I'm just liking and commenting. No, I'm getting inspired because of the type of people I follow, first of all. I follow a lot of interesting people that motivate me, that inspire me. And I use that same material to inspire other people. So everybody has a purpose. And the purpose that I have used Facebook to be able to inspire. And it's simply a medium. It's simply a medium because you might think Facebook is that platform where people do funny stuff. But look, through Facebook, we have been able to help close to 500 kids.
Okay, let me ask you a question about money. You once took children to Mandela Square in South Africa. That should be about 16.1 kilometers from Midrand, from the Midrand graduate school where you studied. And the Mandela Square is one of the most complicated buildings in South Africa, precisely in Johannesburg. That is an expensive area to go. Who gives you money to run such issues?
We all get pocket money. I was still a student when I started the organization, and we all get pocket money. And Money comes, money goes. You just decide what you have to do with it. What you do with it earns value. I mean, if you get 10,000 and I get 10,000, I would do certain things that would make you believe I had 100,000.
But the pocket money is for you to run your daily life as a student. It's not to run an association.
And it's about sacrificing. As a student, there are things that you can do as a student. It would include going to fast food.
It would look like misplaced priorities.
No, it depends what your priority is. Exactly. That is what it's about. It depends on what your priority is. Your priority might be to get a new phone. It used to be my priority. I'll get a new phone every year. But this year, my priority shifted. And that is exactly what I did. It's about sacrificing. I sacrificed my time. And I also had to forgo certain things, because we always think you get 100,000 and you do everything you need. You think about yourself first.
And your members contribute, right?
Yes, they contribute. Yes, they do contribute to every event we have.
Most of their parents will say that, okay, this money is meant for our children to take care of their daily life. Don't you think that that's, maybe some people call it stealing? Stealing
from who?
I don't know. Because you are giving money to do a particular job, and you
no, it's not a job.
Or to consume it in this way.
Exactly.
That's budgeting.
Exactly.
It looked like embezzlement, because the money does not go in the right channel. It was meant to sponsor your daily life as a student, but you end up using it in sponsoring a charity association. Looks like embezzlement or mismanagement of your funds.
No, look, when your parents give you your pocket money, you don't have an exact breakdown. It's not a budget. It's not a, I don't know. The budget
wasn't not a state budget.
Yeah, it's not a state budget where you have to tar the road from Douala to Yaoundé or whatever. You are given the money, and there are obviously certain basic things that you have to do, such as pay your fees, such as pay your rent. And those are things that I didn't play with. I had to pay my fees and I had to pay my rent. I had to be very focused on that. I had to make sure that the basic things were there. But then you obviously get the money that you are allowed to do whatever you want to do with it. We all get that money.
Okay.
I don't know about when you were students.
How do you raise funds if you have to raise funds? Do you take loans?
No, I don't. I basically encourage people. The way we do our project, we don't ask for funds and then we go see what we might do with it. We basically just encourage the people to directly finance the project. It's more of a material assistance.
Project identification before identifying the finances for them.
Exactly.
So tell me some of those projects.
The Smile. Let me take the Smile experience, for example.
Yeah.
Most of the kids, yes, the Mandela Square is quite far from Santon, from Midrand.
Yeah.
But there's a train.
Situated at Stanton City.
Stanton City, exactly. But there is a train, so it makes things easier for us, and the cost is relatively affordable. So what I did was that I did a little study of the project. I went to the train. I checked how much it cost to take the kids to the Stanton City.
How many of the kids were there?
30 kids were sponsored.
Okay.
Because what I did was a budget breakdown.
Okay.
Including the train, the movie, and walk around and stuff. So it was about 10,000 francs per kid. So the more people were willing to pay 10,000 francs, the more
10,000 francs CFA, that should be how much in rands?
It's about 150.
Yeah, 150 rands.
So the more people sponsored, and then I sent out messages to everyone that I'm hosting this event and would you like to sponsor a kid. So the more people sponsored kids, the more kids were able to benefit. So for this project, I had 30 kids that were able to be sponsored. And it wasn't just about giving the money. I actually encouraged people, because you would find that people would give 50,000 to an orphanage, but they wouldn't sacrifice an hour of their time. And that is what I want to encourage people to understand. You need to sacrifice your time. And it's about forgoing something. I had a friend that day who cancelled. She almost cancelled, saying, a friend of mine is having a birthday, so I'm sorry I wouldn't be there. And I said, okay, no problem. But you choose. You choose to be with your friend instead of orphans. It's a choice. So you have to sacrifice. So I had a couple of people that were able to sacrifice, and they had an incredible experience with the kids.
Okay. How does your immediate family respond to all of this? Certainly daddy may not be happy, or mom is not happy, right? Okay, look at our child. He's supposed to be heading for one big company. We have spent so much money on him. He has studied in Europe, he has studied in South Africa, he has studied in Cameroon, a mixture of African and Western education. Now he has an MBA in business administration. He should be moving somewhere to provide, to get big cash, and he says he wants to run an association for orphan children. It sounds...
You see, education is almost like the pocket money. That's the best thing your parents can give you. They give you the education. It's almost like the raw material, and you decide what you want to do with it. You decide what you want to create. Going to school, getting a job, getting big cash, and then you get a home, get married. That is what most people think life must be about. That is how most people get into midlife crisis, because they do exactly what you did, what you said. That's not what my parents think, but that is what society thinks. So you think my parents think that way. That's not how they think. But the fact is, society has that trend, and you get people who do that because you have to go to school, you study, you get a big job and whatever, and then you get married, and then by the time you're 50 years old, you realize that you're living the dream, but it's not your dream. And me going to get the big cash or whatever, it's not my dream. I have a dream, and my dream is to change Africa, is to see Africa be a better place. And that is why today I have started the charity organization, because I'm that person who believes in Africa we need love. We need that brotherhood. We need to understand that we need each other to go forward. There's a phrase in South African language that says Ubuntu. I am because we are. If I gave you $1 billion and you were in Central Africa right now, you wouldn't be able to enjoy it. I am because we all are. So if they are happy, I am happy.
How does your training in business administration help you in this life of helping the poor and the needy?
Smile Charity is a Pan-African organization. It's charity, but it's an organization. It's a business, an organization that you have to run. And my business skills obtained from school helped me in running the organization. It is actually what helped me start the organization, because I was doing charity and I realized that a lot of people want to get involved in charity, but they don't know how to go about it. So I identified the need in the market, if I can put it that way, in business terms. I identified the need, and Smile Charity is that organization coming to fill the gap.
How far do you intend to go in this domain?
Smile Charity is going to expand to every country in Africa. And it's about planting the seed. It's about planting the seed in every country, changing the mentality. We're not about encouraging people to give more. We're about changing them to the way they think about the action. The moment we start to change the way we think, the actions would follow. So right now we are focused on changing the way people think. That is why I'm always very happy and honored to be on such platforms, because I'll be able to inspire 1 million people who might then be able to change the life of 10 million people. But if you just give me 1 million, Charles, I might just help 1 million kids. And then what?
What is the central message you may send to all those watching you now?
I would encourage them to love more and try and appreciate the blessings you have. And the moment you appreciate that, you realize that you're even more blessed than you thought you were. I want to encourage people to give love, because love is something we have in abundance. We have that. Your heart is something meant to produce love. That is why if you hate and you're jealous or you have every other foreign feelings, it will affect your heart. That is how people get heart disease. So I want to encourage people to love and to give love. And then, based on the little material stuff that you have, you should share it. It's not about giving. We don't give. The material we share, and we use the things to love the people. We don't love the people. We don't love the things to use the people.
Okay. One key question before we separate. Who audits you in all these business transactions? Auditing
doesn't have its place yet, because I don't have donors. I don't have sponsors. So I'm not accountable to anyone. What happens is that when we work on a particular project, which is 10,000 francs for a kid to go to the movie, transport and everything, you basically pay for it. You are basically the charity. I would encourage people not to give the money to Smile Charity, but to go straight to an orphanage. That is what we want to do. We are simply bridging the gap.
You're simply bridging the gap.
Exactly.
What is your key project for 2014?
My key project is to carry on with expansion and to carry on inspiring people. I want to get closer to the media. I want to work with the media. I actually prioritize partnership with media platforms rather than even sponsors, because we want to change the mindset. We want people to understand the importance of charity, because charity is love. It's not just a foreign concept. That is why people say giving to charity, as if charity is just the poor and the orphans. That is not what it's about. Charity is love. Charity is a medium of living with each other. And that is what we want to, that is the message we want to get across to every African country, because it's not just something that is just for Cameroon or Central Africa. It has to be a global movement so that we achieve the African dream altogether.
If I have it correctly, you are writing a book, which is
written the book,
which is about 150 pages.
Yes, sir.
It's the title, if I'm not wrong, is The What and the Why of
The What, Why, and How of Charity.
Of charity.
Yes.
When is it going to be in the market?
It should be out by end of 2014. I'm still in the process of publishing to you, but it should be out by the end of 2014.
Chief Executive Officer of CarltonSmile charity, GC Carlton. Thanks very much for accepting to be guest on my program today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
The year 2014 agenda starts with Showtime business next month when Vladimir Putin presides the Sochi Winter Olympic Games, which already are the most expensive. Well, an even more spectacular event takes place in Brazil when Dilma Rousseff hosts the World Cup. Of course, the World Cup in football. While football will be celebrated as the king's sport, the world will mark the centenary anniversary of the First World War, which started some 100 years ago in the Bosnian town of Sarajevo. The First World War shocking memories will be met by the shocking political waves of the year. Nations which account for at least 40% of the world population will hold elections. Top amongst them will be the Indian vote, the world's largest democracy. And more importantly, the September Scottish referendum to whether separate from the rest of the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland. A yes vote will impact Spain and Quebec tremendously. Yes, the changes will be immense amidst the unexpected, and what will be the unexpected events of 2014. You and I simply don't know. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Charles Obunin Yaounde, and see you next week. Bye-bye.